This is the Sunday School staff meeting for Green Valley Evangelical Lutheran Church on October 24th at 6 p.m. We're going to be going through the lessons for the month of October-November. You've got the packet in front of you. Just to remind you that Sunday School 9:15 down here for music. How's that working out? Okay?
I like it because I'm late all the time, so it sort of gives me, I'm not late.
Okay.
But also, it does cut into time for the class a little bit. Like, I feel like we're always rushing to finish things.
Yeah, so maybe you got to be a little more picky and like throw some stuff out,
Yeah.
Don't teach it. View it as a buffet instead of a restaurant serving. Any need for supplies or any issues like that? Okay, if you do, talk to me or Jamie and we'll be sure to get you the stuff, yes.
I think just because they took my markers and used them, I think that Kara and Amber possibly need markers.
Okay.
There's some upstairs in there.
There is more?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
What, do you like the small ones or the big ones?
I have both small and big ones that I got, but I had them up there in a thing and they were gone last week because they were using them. So,
I'll have
I
to
just
check
didn't
to
know
see if they're
if there
still
was
there
others.
then, because there were a lot.
They also may not have known that those were ones that you brought and just.
yeah, that's what I
grabbed them,
figured. I mean,
so,
it was, I mean, I wasn't like.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, just make sure we have
Yeah.
enough markers either.
Yeah.
People
And
that,
if you get your markers, give us the receipt
Yeah,
so we
I
can
did.
reimburse you, okay? All right, and then you've got the contact information and the classrooms. We do have a Christmas program and it's going to be presented on a Sunday morning, December 18th at 10:30. Because the way Christmas falls this year, we're not going to have any kids probably around, or a lot of them will be gone over Christmas break. And Christmas break really starts the 16th or something like that. So it's a little early. So I think we'll be able to have enough kids for the December 18th. And we'll have enough time to practice. Because if we made it like December 11th, that would have been really tough. And only when we have big Sunday schools were we getting enough people for a Sunday night like before Christmas. So this way it'll be on the during the Sunday school hour at 10:30, or it'll be at 10:30 and we can rehearse that hour beforehand. Then on page 3, the lineup, just remember there is no Sunday school on the Sunday after Thanksgiving. We've got a break there. Any issues that have come up that we need to talk about before we go into the lessons?
I know Amber brought up that some of the parents didn't know to bring their kids down here. And so I talked to Barb about sending an email, but she's out until Tuesday.
Yeah,
So then we'll send
yeah.
an email to the parents.
Okay, because I think we were trying to get that information across to people, but if they don't come to church, they don't see the bulletin. So that's a...
Well, that's another thing I like about it, is that I don't have to go there to drop off Ben and then come in here, we just come together.
Right,
So
right.
that is nice.
So, okay, let's get to the lessons then. October 30th, you see, we're in the miracle section of the lessons about Jesus' life. A weather wonder, okay? It's lesson 11, and it's Mark chapter 4, verses 35 through 41. Mark chapter 4, 35 through 31. 35 through 41. And Jesus calms the storm. The truth is, Jesus, our God, has power over creation. Because it's one thing to be able to tell your dog to be quiet. It's another thing to tell the wind and the waves, be quiet. But Jesus has the power over creation. God made everything and controls everything. We doubt God's power to keep us safe. Jesus showed his power over the storm on the lake. Jesus is God. Remember with these miracles, that's always the underlying lesson. Jesus is God. Only God can do these things. Jesus loved his disciples. Jesus used his power to help his disciples. Jesus loves me too. And so Jesus will use his power to help me too. I will believe in Jesus as my God. Law Gospel here on page 4. Sin makes us fear and doubt God's power to take care of us. Jesus takes away our fear and proves he will always take care of us. Okay? And then maybe just get the kids, because even the girls I know in chapel with the preschoolers, strong. They like strong. They like to be strong too. How strong is strong? Our fathers and mothers are strong, stronger than us. Are they stronger than a dog? Yes. Are they stronger than an elephant? Well, I don't know. There are limits to our strength. But Jesus has all the strength there is. There's nothing he can't do. Today's lesson shows Jesus is stronger than the wind and waves and can always help us. So one of the things to notice in verse 36, they took Jesus into the boat as he was. He was exhausted. He was just dead tired. And that's why when there's a furious squall, and when you think, it's lucky for us to live here. The Sea of Galilee is a lot like Lake Mead. I don't know if you've ever been boating on Lake Mead, but it can be a dangerous place. Before you had the modern weather predicting systems, you got the hills around you. You can't see very far beyond the mountain ranges, and a storm comes up over the mountain range and falls upon the lake. And well, out here, we're like in the middle of the desert. The Sea of Galilee was only 30 miles from the Mediterranean coast. And there was a big mountain range between the Mediterranean, so a lot of that moist air could come over, and there were sudden storms on that lake all the time. A furious squall came up, and it was so bad, the boat is almost swamped. And remember, these are fishermen. These are professional sailors. It's a bad storm. It isn't somebody who's just rented a recreational vehicle or recreational boat and gone for a weekend out on the lake. And verse 38, where's Jesus? He's sleeping on a cushion. He is so tired, he's sleeping through the boat rocking. He's so tired, he's sleeping through getting wet with the waves, okay? This is a sound sleeper. And they come to Jesus and they say, don't you care? You see, there's the devil talking. Don't you care? No, God doesn't care about us. That's what the devil says. That's what's in their question, you know. Law, gospel. We don't think God cares, but he cares for us and he uses his power to save us. And Jesus gets up in verse 39. He tells the wind and the waves, quiet, be still. Just like a little boy would, or little girl would chastise her dog. Quiet, be still. And the wind and the waves shut up and be quiet, calm, completely calm. It isn't like there's the storm lets up and it eases off a little bit. No, it is like turning off a switch. Boom. It's calm. And then he turns to the disciples and he says, have you no faith? They've been with him quite a while now. They've seen him do a lot of things. But you know, when your life is on the line, you just panic and you don't think about it. Have you no faith? Have faith. And they ask themselves, who is this? Well, they know it's Jesus, but it's starting to dawn on them that he really is God. And everything that means, that God can take care of everything. Jesus can not only give me friends at school, but Jesus can help me get out of the hospital. Jesus can help me in the middle of a storm not get struck by lightning or washed away in floodwaters. And so the majesty, the power of Jesus' love for us, that's what's starting to sink in with the disciples and hopefully with the kids learning these lessons that there's nothing that Jesus can't and won't do for me. Okay? Yes?
So if they hadn't questioned him and they would just let him sleep, things would have been okay too?
We don't know, that's not how it turned out. We just go by what the story says. They woke him up. That was good. It was good for them to wake him up. Just like for us, it's good to go to God in prayer. Not to think, well, God can see what's going on. I'm sure if he's going to help me, he'll help me. No, he wants to use us in the process too. Okay, then on to page 5, November 6th. Lesson 12. And this, now remember, there will be daylight savings time on this day. Change. It's the most wonderful day of the year. Everybody has an extra hour, and they're just, oh, so relaxed. I'd love to lose an hour every week, you know? That would be wonderful. But so you're going to have a nice day teaching this. A life restored. This is the raising of Jairus' daughter. It's in Mark 5, 21 through 24, and 35 through 43. There's a break between those two because there's an intervening miracle that Jesus performs along the way. We're not going to go into that one. The key point, Jesus our God has power over death. Last time we saw he had power over nature, he has power over death. God created everything and made me. Sickness causes us to worry that God can't make us better. Jesus showed his power by raising a little girl from the dead. Jesus is God. See, there's that lesson again. Jesus is God. The miracles always teach Jesus is God. Then you'll know the way this is going to go. Jesus loved the little girl. Jesus helped her. Jesus loves me. Jesus will help me get better and even take me to heaven. Because there's one day where we won't get better when we're great-great-grandmas, great-great-grandpas. And then Jesus will make us better by taking us to heaven. I will believe in Jesus as my God, the same point as the previous lesson. Law gospel. Sickness and death tempt us to be sorry, so sorry we don't think God can help us. God showed his power over death by God showed his power over death by raising Jesus from the dead. He will raise us too. And you're true, how do you wake up in the morning? Does your mommy have to come in and tell you to wake up? Does the sunlight wake you up? Or an alarm clock? One day a little girl died, and Jesus showed his power by waking her up like she was sleeping. Here's what happened. And certainly use that sleeping analogy because that's what Jesus uses in the miracle account to cover the miracle. Because he doesn't want this girl to be a freak show. He doesn't want her to be on the cover of the Jerusalem National Enquirer. So he has a cover story for her. Mark chapter 5, verse 22. Her father is a synagogue ruler. That's kind of like our church president or a pastor. He's an important person, and he believes in Jesus. And he begs Jesus to just put your hands on her. He has such confidence that Jesus can heal his daughter. Okay, this intervening miracle comes, and the daughter dies before they can walk to this guy's house. And messengers come from the house, verse 35, why bother the teacher? You see, they think Jesus has power, but certainly not power over death. It's too late. You don't call the doctor when somebody dies, you call the coroner. Why bother the teacher? And Jesus turns to Jairus and he says, just believe. See, faith. Faith holds on to God no matter what it looks like. And they get to the house, and what a farce. Human compassion, human solidarity. There's a big commotion outside because the professional mourners have already shown up. There's money to be made. And so they're going to be showing how tragic this is by having a big demonstration of mourning and wailing over this girl. But it's all fake. Because when Jesus says she's just asleep, you see, he's putting out the cover story. And look at what they said. They laughed at him. They ridiculed him. If you're really torn up about a little girl's death, you're not going to just turn around and laugh the next moment. But they think Jesus is just a Galilean hick that fell off the turnip truck. Laugh at him. And he goes in to the little girl's bedroom and he tells her to get up. Just that simple. Like you tell a little child to wake up. Get up. And immediately she gets up. There's no struggles or anything. Immediately life comes back to her. And look at verse 43. Jesus said, do not let anyone know about this. Because he cared. He didn't do this for a publicity stunt. He didn't do this to get a lot of good press coverage. He did this because he loved this little girl and he wanted her alive again. And so it's a hidden miracle. So I guess afterwards people could say, well, I guess she must have been in a coma, huh? Lucky for her, she came through, and she could, the miracle could be covered over. Any questions about this? This is one of the reasons why I guess throughout my ministry here, I have been reluctant to use pictures of members in evangelism stuff for things like that. You're here to be served, not to be used as advertising campaigns or faces. November 13th, lesson 13, the fish and bread sign. This is the feeding of the 5,000. And we go to John chapter 6 for this. Okay, and in your church Bibles, it's page 1654? No.
No, it's like
56?
55. Bottom of the page, 1655. Key point, Jesus our God provides for us, okay? All right, the last 2 weeks we saw, yeah, he can take care of acts of God in nature. Yeah, he's more powerful than death, but you know what? He's probably too busy to take care of the little things, like if my family thinks they need more money, or if I'm hungry and there's no food in the house. Jesus our God provides for us. Jesus can do miracles. Jesus is God. Jesus loves us. Jesus can help us. Trust in Jesus' power. Ask Jesus to help, and then praise him for his help. Law of gospel, sometimes we think God can't give us what we need. Because of Jesus, God promises to take care of everything our bodies and souls need. He's not just there to forgive us our sins. He's there to take care of us. You're at school. Oh no, you forgot your lunch. What are you going to do? You are going to starve. Then you call to the office and there's your mom with the lunch you forgot. Today, Jesus feeds many, many people who had nothing to eat. Let's hear about this miracle today. And John tells us in verse 4, it's a time of the Jewish Passover, and that is in the spring. So they've had the winter rains. There's lots of grass growing around. It's a pleasant day, nice spring day. And these people are all out there listening to Jesus teach and preach the whole day. And when he sees all these people coming to him, he asks his disciples, how will we feed all these people? And in verse 6, Jesus said this to test them. He wants them to think about it. He wants them to think, hey, why are we worried about it? Jesus, you're God. You can make the food for these people. But they don't get it. Verse 7, they say, 8 months' wages wouldn't be enough to feed these people. So, I mean, if you make $60,000 a year, $45,000 wouldn't be enough to feed these people. There's a lot of people here. And he says, well, how much food do you have? And they discover one little boy has brought 5 little pieces of pita bread and 2 small fish. Think of like little tortillas, okay? A little bigger than street tacos, but not much. And their unbelief shows. but how far will they go among so many? They're failing the test each and every time. And Jesus says, have the people sit down. He treats it like it's going to be an ordinary picnic. Have the people sit down. And then he breaks the bread, breaks the fish after he gives thanks to God. He gives it to the disciples. The disciples distribute it to the people. And after everybody has had their fill, not like just a little bit, they are full, they are satisfied, they don't need any more food. He tells them to pick up the leftovers. There's 12 baskets left over of food. He only had 2 small fish. He only had 5 loaves of bread, we call it. But he had 12 basketfuls of leftovers. He multiplied that food. A tremendous miracle took place. And the people recognize this. They say, this is the prophet that was to come into the world. Bible passage, or verse 14. They catch on. Jesus has power. Jesus is the great prophet. Jesus can take care of us. And so what they want Jesus to do, verse 15, they want to make him king by force. So that they'll always be fed. That they'll always be taken care of. That they won't have to do another lick of work in their life. Jesus will be their, theologians call this, Jesus will be their bread king. You see, they put 2 and 2 together and get 17. Totally miss the point. Totally miss the point. And their selfishness shows through. Questions on the feeding of the 5,000?
How come his disciples keep failing these tests?
I don't know. Maybe for our
Just to
benefit.
make a point?
Yeah, for our benefit. But maybe, I mean, here is
Just
Jesus.
'cause it's hard to believe.
He doesn't look like God. He's not 40 feet tall. He doesn't have bushy white hair, big puffy beard. Rainbows don't circle his head. Jesus was probably a 95-pound weakling. He was probably a runt. Peter could blow him over with his breath. How could this guy be God? You know? Like, think of these jockeys that are in the horse races come the Kentucky Derbies. They're tiny little guys. Jesus probably was a tiny little guy, and they're just, I don't know, they just overlooked it or forgot it, or just, it was just so much to comprehend, they just couldn't wrap their heads around it. I don't know. But consistently they do it, and in a way, it's comforting to us, because we're like, oh, I should have prayed to God sooner. Oh, of course he could do this. I shouldn't have worried so much. You know, but we do too. And instead of feeling like dumber than dirt, we're like, I could have been an apostle. I'm doing the same things they did. Okay? Okay, then, the last lesson I want to go through tonight, November 20th, lesson 14, a hearing aid. It's Mark chapter 7. Jesus heals a deaf man. And Jesus, our God, here the point is Jesus, our God, is compassionate. We're not going to focus so much on the miracle, but how Jesus did the miracle. Jesus cares for his people. Jesus has power to help his people. Jesus cares for us. Jesus will use his power to help us too. Trust him, praise him. Well, law gospel. Sin makes our life hard. And we don't make it better when we don't think Jesus will help us. Jesus, I mean, we make life a lot worse than it needs to be. Plain and simple. Jesus cares for us and helps us in our troubles. Well, what do people worry about? You could ask your kids this. They will tell you. Getting sick? Yeah, they worry about getting sick. I worry about getting sick. Not having enough friends? Yeah, they worry about what to wear. Yeah, that they won't have enough to eat. Yes, people worry about all those things. God makes sure we don't always worry. Listen how he does it. And let's go through the story. The beauty of these stories is they're very short and precise. They're great for teaching the kids. Whereas we had some of the Old Testament lessons, which were like 2 or 3 chapters long, oh my gosh, you really have to summarize. These you can work your way through. Mark chapter 7, verse 31. Then Jesus left the vicinity of Tyre and went through Sidon down to the Sea of Galilee and into the region of the Decapolis. Okay, so he's up north. Tyre is a foreign country. Think of Baja, okay? He's going from Baja into California, coming back to Israel. And he comes across, verse 32, there's some people brought to him a man who was deaf and could hardly talk, and they begged him to place his hand on the man. Okay, deaf and could hardly talk. You're not going to be able to communicate with this guy very well. But how is Jesus going to get across that he wants to help this man? Verse 33, after he took him aside away from the crowd, he takes him away from distractions. And so it just focuses one-on-one. And you as mothers know, well, if you've had more than one, that if you've got a kid that's just out of control, get them away from the other ones, because they're probably riling them up. And just focus on that little one, you know. Jesus gets him away from the crowd, and then look what he does. Jesus put his fingers into the man's ears. He's showing the man he's going to do something about his hearing. Then he spit. Something coming from his mouth, words, are going to help with this man's hearing. And he touched the man's tongue. He's going to help him speak too. Hearing, speaking. Something Jesus is going to say is going to help this man's hearing and speaking. He looked up to heaven. Help is going to come from heaven. And with a deep sigh, he said to him, Ephphatha, which means be open. It's like the man could see the breath enter Jesus and come out of him. Jesus is saying something. Jesus is going to help me. You see, he's laying the groundwork for this man to have trust in Jesus, even without knowing the words that Jesus is saying, so that he has faith to be helped, which means be opened. At this, the man's ears were opened, his tongue was loosened, and he began to speak plainly. Now you tell me how in the world a guy who could never hear suddenly can speak plainly. It is a complete miracle. I mean, just think of when people are in the hospital for a long time, they got to go to rehab because they don't have the muscles to walk anymore. They got to learn how to walk again. This guy didn't have to learn how to talk. He could talk immediately. A complete miracle. And boy, did he talk. Jesus commanded them not to tell anyone, but the more he did so, the more they kept talking about it. People were overwhelmed with amazement. He has done everything well. They said he even makes the deaf hear and the mute speak. Once again, Jesus didn't want this to be a big PR thing. He did it to help this man. He didn't want this man to be a freak show. But evidently the guy was talking about it too. And so he didn't mind being the center of attention. And but that isn't what Jesus wanted it to be. Okay, any questions on this? But the thing is, this is how Jesus shows the man he's going to perform a miracle. To Jairus he had to say, don't be afraid, just believe. But here, this guy is not going to be able to hear that. So he just touches his ears, touches his mouth. Okay? Any questions on this? All right, the next meeting I'm planning on having is November 21st. Because I'm not going to be here the 28th, the Monday after Thanksgiving. I'm going to be going down to Tucson. The whole family's going to rent a house down there, and all the kids are going to be down there too. And so I'm going to be gone from Tuesday until Monday. So this will be my last function before my vacation. We'll have the Sunday school meeting November 1st at 6 p.m. Now, got a little time here.
I have a
Yes.
question really quick. The stuff that we had last year, those boxes of, whatever happened to that?
They're in the second office in
Okay, because
the,
I had stuff for this lesson, your lesson that I would like to reuse.
look in the second office. We got all the stuff on Anthony's desk there.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay. The thing, the one I thought you were talking about was this one. Tell me the story of Jesus.
Okay,
With the mother in a rocking chair with her daughter.
I have not seen that.
Oh, because the other one was Christmas Around the World. And I thought, I don't know if I want to teach the kids all these
No.
songs of different
The one that
cultures.
we did that was always really quick was this one, Story of Christmas.
Yeah, that's what this, oh, the story of Christmas. This is the story of Jesus.
Yeah.
When did we do that one? You know?
I have 2014 on this one. I don't remember ever seeing this.
This one we did when Pastor Piper was here.
Yeah, this one too.
Okay, I just didn't see that one, but I thought we would do this one.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm open to convincing. We would have about 30 parts here. We could have more with lambs and shepherds. But basically a little girl, the kids come in when they're singing Away in the Manger, and then they sing Tell Me the Story of Jesus. And then we kick in, basically a little girl says she wants a bedtime story, so her mother tells her the story of Jesus' birth. And we do have parts here that they come in and say their parts. And then there's interspersed songs, like O Little Town of Bethlehem on page 2. And on page 3, the choir will be in on this too. We'll have the choir up against a wall singing God So Loved This Silent Night. And then it goes into the shepherds, and plan on having the adult choir at the bottom of page 4 when the angels appear singing, angels singing glory. And we go on page 5, the wise men with the star. And on page 6, the adult choir, when the wise men leave King Herod, they sing King's Bell Carol, and then Come and Worship. And it ends up with the mother singing What Child Is This? The kids singing I Love to Tell the Story, and then while they're walking out, the adult choir sings Songs of Angels. So you said that one was 2014?
Yeah, and this was like, it only takes like 20 minutes to go through this.
Oh,
But
okay.
I see you have the adult choir in here, that's probably a good idea since we're both doing it the same day.
Yeah, and this way we can incorporate the adult choir in, so the kids don't have a lot of songs to memorize, to sing, because some of the songs are pretty
So
tough.
what did you decide about songs for them to sing then?
Well, they would be singing Away in the Manger,
Okay.
Tell Me the Story, those are on page 1.
There's Songs of Angels at the very end with the adult choir.
That would be the adult choir.
And there's
O Little Town of Bethlehem on bottom of page 2. On Nothing on page 3. So we got them singing 3 songs. Nothing on page 4. Page 5, there's no songs. Page 6, the adult choir sings King's Bells Carol, Come and Worship. Page 7, when it's all over, the mother sings What Child Is This? And the children sing I Love to Tell the Story. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4 songs, and then 1 solo with the mother. Because What Child Is This is a really difficult song. So whoever the mother is going to be has got to be a good singer.
listed as an upper grader, so.
Yeah.
I think Amy will be able to.
Yeah, pick somebody. So,
And that's on the 18th, you said?
18th, yeah, December 18th. So I would be planning on having, December 4th and 11th would be shorter lessons, and we would be rehearsing probably half the time. We would probably have a Saturday rehearsal, and I'd be there kind of being the whip to get it all moving along. We'd have a rehearsal on December 18th, just like kind of a walkthrough. And
During
then
Sunday school time?
Yeah, 9:15, and then 10:30, boom, away we go with it. But I thought 4 songs and the parts. And if I knew the other one, I don't have the 2014 in my files. So I looked through the stuff.
Well, it looks like you've already put all the adult choir songs in there though, so I need to do anything different.
Yeah,
You've already worked it out, if you've already worked
I
it out.
I didn't spend a ton of time on this.
Well, see, my only thing about this one was that we don't have a bunch of parts, because parts take a long time, and a lot of times the kids don't learn them, you know? And on this one, it was mostly, here's the angels, they walk in, we sing, and it's not a lot of back and forth, it's the readers telling the story.
Yeah, let me see it.
So the readers kind of just tell the story. There was a couple of the older kids that had parts where they actually did anything, but the rest is just the little younger kids just walking on stage and off. And like I said, it's extremely quick. So I don't know if you want, you know,
Okay.
the only thing with all this is we don't have a lot of time to practice. So if it's anything where kids have to memorize that.
Yeah, well, that's why I'd like to get it out to you guys now.
Yeah, the kids, you know, they don't really memorize very well anymore.
Can we send them with their lines and tell the
Yeah.
parents they have to?
Yes,
practice them?
but
Yeah, it's still, then it's the
still,
homework being done.
still
So-
with Sunday school, a lot of
What
times
if
they
we
don't
let
come
them
every Sunday,
read?
so we only have like maybe
Yeah.
2 rehearsals
Yeah.
and
I
that's
think
it.
that they'll
Well,
have to be.
I made this up for everybody. Do you want to do, I mean, we can quick make copies and try to squeeze it in, but we're going to lose a week.
I know, you know,
I thought this was the one you were talking about.
yeah. No, this is the one that, I don't remember ever doing that one, so it wasn't me that did that.
Okay.
So, but you remember doing it?
Pastor Pfeiffer was here and I delegated.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's fine, it depends what everybody else wants to do, because honestly, I'm not gonna be here either of those rehearsal Sundays. So
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna be here,
You'll be here the 18th?
yes.
Okay. Yeah. But that's why we have 2 teachers every class. Yeah. So, well, let's go with this and see how it works.
I mean, I know none of my kids could learn lines, but they're all really young.
Yeah, well, there's, for the little ones, they're more just to be like there for sheep or angels in the background.
Yeah.
You know, the main parts we can see,
Because my kids can't even read, most of them.
the speaking parts are,
You have the 4-year-olds?
The
Or you
5
have
and
the
6
5,
year-olds.
6-year-olds? You
Yeah.
have kindergarten.
kindergarten, first grade, yeah.
okay, because it looks like most of the parts are 3rd through upper, and there's some 1st grader parts, but the parts are like maybe 1 part period.
And she said she's only got
That might be good.
kindergarten.
Let's see, I think it's angel number 3 is a first grader.
Angel number 3, and then
that's, how long is that line?
4 to 6 priests and teachers.
The only thing is, I noticed too with us
I mean,
coming in to sing, if they can't take the song home, the parents can't help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And we haven't had a chance to take the song home, because they collect them at the end.
right,
Okay.
So we really need to have
okay.
the.
Because what I can do is, between now and Sunday,
Yeah, if
we can
get-
have an expanded thing and have the song included in this packet.
Yeah, and then give them the pack, because the parents will help. Or at least my little guys.
And we'd
were.
also have to assign
Sunday,
these parts.
yes, and that's what we'll have to
Assign
do.
them on Sunday,
Yeah,
yeah.
Maybe
But I
like
know
put in the
that was-
email this week or something, like it's important for the kids to come this week?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Because I think the most kids I ever had was maybe 6, 5.
Yeah, because it's hit or miss. I see you had one this past Sunday up in the library.
I wasn't teaching.
Yeah, there was one, because I had to go in there to find a charger, and there was only one girl.
Yeah, so, okay, so what we'll do, include songs, or lyrics, I'll say. Include lyrics, and have the parts divided up for the classes so that you know which ones you have to assign.
yeah, because I think they'll learn it if we send it home. And then we do it in class.
Okay,
Because that was always my problem with when trying to teach mine was having the information.
okay.
What about costumes?
Because if they just learn.
Oh, we
it in Sunday
got
school,
lots
they
of
have to remember.
costumes, yeah.
We only see them once. a
Thanks
week.
to a lifetime of Sean Nielsen, we
Yeah,
got all
Sean
the
did
costumes
some
in the world.
Mm.
She's a seamstress
Mm.
by nature.
She made like all of the kids, there was a graduation place, she made them all costumes
Oh, wow.
in like 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Must really enjoy
Yeah.
that.
So we got enough costumes for everybody. So, okay, so we'll look for this on Sunday. We'll have it in a packet with your class on it. And so you can hand it out to the kids. There'll be the songs, there'll be the parts that you could do.
So we need to get with our people who are co-teachers and find out who they want to assign those parts. We can give those parts to the kids on Sunday.
I don't think your and my class will even have parts. I think we're sheep and
Yeah,
shepherds.
Yeah, but,
angel number 3
We're not
is
angels.
gonna be a first grader.
Oh, is it?
well, Alexander, you'll have to divide, because there's the lambs and angels
Yeah.
are 4-year-olds, and then the lambs are 3 and 4-year-olds. And then first graders there's the angel, but then there's also
Angel number
priests,
3.
and then the kindergartners are the shepherds. So you'll have to just,
Oh, kindergartners or the shepherds, right?
and then the daughter is first or second graders, so
Probably just give her.
that could be one of the
second grader.
2, yeah.
How many second graders do we have?
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of 7th grade
So
parts.
there's a lot of second graders.
If
We only have one upper grader there.
Yeah, there's
It
only,
can be, you can divide it up more.
there's one upper grader listed,
I mean, I think
But-
like,
Then we can give
I
that.
think like King Harry
think
could be
we
an
can
upper
move
grader.
that up.
the innkeeper should probably be an upper grader. He has a lot of like a lot to say, didn't he?
Yeah, it's his 4th and 5th grader.
The innkeeper?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has like a big long, yeah, he has 1, 2, pretty long lines.
It says 4th and 5th grader.
How many 4th and 5th graders do we have?
I don't know.
Before this week, we typically would have
Priest and teacher.
4 3-year-olds,
Third grader?
2 4-year-olds, 4 kindergartners,
4th
5
graders.
5, so that would be 10. Or it's a 3s and 4s, right, or is
Yes.
it?
3s and 4s are together.
So you'd have typically 6 kids.
Yes, if they all come.
Kindergarten and first grade would typically have 9 kids,
What?
4 and 5.
No, I've
see
never.
'em.
I've never.
Well, that's what I've got here. I just, whatever Barb did
I
here.
know, because I.
Second, third, and fourth, that's where the biggest is. That would be 18
So
kids.
that's where we should move all the big parts to.
Second and third are together.
Yeah.
4th and 5th are together, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, second and third would be 13 kids.
Mhm.
Fourth and fifth, 8. Then the junior high would be 6 kids.
It might be,
So,
Never been
yeah.
for the junior high kids, if we want to do any roles, it would be a good idea to have 1 or 2 with the priests and the teachers, because they're first graders, but
Yeah.
it's a good chunk for them to memorize, and if they have an older kid saying it with them, it might be a little easier.
Yeah. Or we could have just one upper grader, not be the mother, but be the one who sings what child is this.
True, and have the mother separate, yeah.
Yeah.
What about the priest and the teachers?
Yeah,
and
first
first
teachers,
graders
first
as
graders.
well. Should we move those
We could
up?
move those up too.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Too.
Pastor, did you come up with all these grade levels on here?
Well, this is what, oh, on this,
Yeah,
this is what the program was.
Mm.
okay, because it doesn't really make sense for our,
Doesn't, really?
well,
Also,
there are no upper grader parts, so.
There's one upper grader for
That's
us.
Yeah.
why-
yeah, I
that's
think they're
another
just
reason why
assuming
we
the
should
upper
move those
graders
up.
wouldn't want to be part of it perhaps.
How many fourth and fifth graders are there again?
Fourth and fifth, we have 8.
Okay.
Because they got the first and second
Where-
graders as a daughter.
Where did these numbers come from, of how many kids we have, it's how many kids have ever shown up?
I think that's what it was, how many
I've never
ever
had
showed
9
up.
individual kids, there haven't,
Yeah.
there definitely haven't been 9 different
But I've
kids.
had.
I think asked her what's the most possible we could have.
Oh, the most possible,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. But I've had probably 4 or 5 kids who've never come. Because I
So,
made folders for each of
I
them.
think instead of looking at this and saying graders, we need to look
Cross
at
out
what
all
we
this.
have, okay?
Yeah,
So as far as what the shepherds have to do, what are they actually doing, and the angels actually doing? So the angel.
Well, the
does-
shepherds part, let's do shepherds first. Shepherds are on page 4.
Shepherds have quite a bit.
shepherds have a lot.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 1. And that's actually, they have a lot up on top. 1, 3, 2, 3, 2.
The wise men have a lot too.
And there's quite a bit there. Now they're asking shepherds to be second graders. We could maybe have double the parts, have older shepherds and younger shepherds. What's that? I don't know. Let's get out of here. Okay, you get the sheet.
So
Yeah,
the
that
chief
could be the
priests
younger
and
ones.
teachers of the law, is that like they're all gonna stay together in Bethlehem and Judea?
Okay, well, let's go to the wise men. You've got pretty much single lines, a lot of interplay, but a lot of single lines, so nothing too bad there. The chief priests and the teachers of the law, yeah, it almost sounds like they would say it all
All
in
together?
unison,
Yeah.
yeah. And,
But it's kind of hard to say.
or we could break it up in Bethlehem, in Judah. This is what the prophet's written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you will come a ruler who will be the shepherd of my people Israel. Divided up into five parts.
I think
I
it'd probably be
think
better
my kids
if a
could do
kid,
that.
if an older kid did
Yeah,
that.
I think my kids
Yeah.
couldn't,
You could
couldn't
have,
do
you
that.
They would
could have
take
the
over
younger
that
kids
one.
just
So
standing
how
with
about,
the older
chief
one, but-
priests and teachers of the law? I mean, that sounds like a more mature,
One speaker,
yeah. I'll take one of those. I'll get a kid to do that, like maybe
Okay.
Jacob or something. And then King Herod.
an upper, I think they call
Yeah.
him upper.
What is the group of shepherds?
4th, 5th grader.
So are we keeping the shepherds
I
kindergarten
mean,
for first graders?
I'm just confused. It says group of shepherds and then shepherd 1, shepherd 2. What's
Yeah,
the
there's
group
like-
of shepherds?
Group of
it's all of
shepherds
them,
is the
yeah.
little
That
ones
means
dressed as shepherds.
They're just standing around,
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't have
Yeah.
lines? Okay.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the angels?
Yeah,
Okay. So my kids aren't gonna, none of my kids are gonna speak?
probably not, just to
Okay.
sing songs.
Probably the best. There's only 2 of them I think that I could think would be.
This is Angel 3 is the first.
Could we
grader.
have mother and father?
Oh, divide up
And
mother's
split
lines.
Yeah.
That is a
parts?
lot for
There's
mother.
so many.
Yeah, that's a
Just one
lot for
person
one
speaking
person.
the-
Well, because she's got a book though, she can be reading it out of the book.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but couldn't father and mother take turns reading and then?
But it's a mother-daughter.
Do you have a father in mind that you'd want to use? Is that?
Well, the thing is, I have kids in my
Yeah.
class that won't have a part,
Yeah.
is what I'm thinking.
I think a mother and father would be good. Or 2
You
mothers.
could.
And then the child as well? How would we put, well, the child is already
Daughter.
there, so.
Well, you change the first line instead of just mother, I'm ready for bed now, mother, father.
Yeah,
I'm
mom
ready
and
for
daddy,
bed
I'm ready for
now.
bed.
Mom and dad, I'm ready for bed now.
Yeah,
That's easy
And
enough.
then
They
we'll
could
just
do
have to-
every other one.
Yeah.
yeah, because most of what she says is just the story, it's not,
Yeah, and they're big, long
And they could just take turns speaking
Yeah.
the whole time.
And then
Every paragraph.
the
Yeah.
father could almost read Mary rode a little donkey. And Jeff, well, no, because that's what's interesting.
Okay, we can split the mother part into a mother, father.
Let's do that just because, yeah, I think,
Yeah.
I think it'll be more. Mom and dad.
Okay,
So that gives my class 3 parts. No, 4 parts. No, 3 parts.
What's
Well,
yours?
we're
I'm sorry.
moving the priest and teachers up too.
Yeah, the priests and teachers are,
Because
That's what I'm saying, that's
that's
number 3.
we could have an uncle and an aunt too.
Grandma and
We
grandpa.
could have the cousins as children along with them, yeah.
Do you want 4 parts for the narrators?
well, you got King Herod too, right?
That says that's a 4th or 5th grader.
Oh.
I heard it's going on with them.
Yeah. King Herod could be,
No, I mean, we could have an uncle and aunt too, they could all be gathered around.
What
It's,
about the
it's
innkeeper?
after, it's Christmas dinner, families there.
What age is gonna be the innkeeper? Cause that's that's a
Well, the
significant
innkeeper
role,
is
too.
a-
first innkeeper.
Yeah, you don't usually take the innkeeper, cause they have
That's a
a lot.
4th or 5th grader.
That's right here on 3.
3. They have 2
Right
big
on
cards.
mom.
Yes, okay, so I'll take the innkeeper as well.
Okay. What age is your group?
And how about King Herod? Can I have King Herod too?
Sure.
What is your class level?
It's 6th, 7th, and 8th
6, 7,
graders.
8.
They're the old ones.
Okay, so King Herod.
So then, all the parts for the shepherds and the wise men, those speaking parts, I think should be 3rd grade and up, nobody under
Yeah, I
2nd
think 3
grade.
and 4.
Because 2nd grade, kindergartner, they just don't learn lines very well. And then they get scared, or they,
I mean, my kids can barely answer, like, the questions that I asked during class without forgetting what they were gonna say or getting too scared to
Yeah.
answer.
Okay.
So Mary and Joseph will stay the same? for 4th and 5th
4th
grade?
and 5th.
But I think you should, 6, 7, how many 6, 7, 8
well,
graders are there?
let's think about who could actually be, does Mary have to say anything?
Yeah,
But where will we
I have a
stay?
word servant.
I'm tired.
how will this be,
Well,
where will
Joseph,
we
I'm so
stay?
tired, I need to
Well,
rest.
we need to have
Need
a
to rest.
fabulous angel. We need to have somebody who's really smart.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So we have a good
Who's gonna be the angel number?
3rd, 4th, or 5th grader who could be a very good angel.
Yeah, there's not a lot for Mary and Joseph to say,
Yeah, it
so.
looked like it.
So they'll be what, a 2nd and 3rd grader or a 1st?
So there'll be enough there for 4th and 5th graders.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering who in particular could be a good
Yeah.
4th and 5th grader to do the angel and Mary, because those are speaking parts that,
Let's
Well,
Do
the
we have
angel,
any-
angel has to be really good.
None of the 4th or 5th teachers are here.
No.
and an angel could be a.
I'm sure they'll be able to identify
Um,
some.
I don't know, the 4th and 5th graders, the only one I can think of is Daniel Johnson. I don't know how he is with memorization and reciting, like
Okay.
on stage.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
let's have the 4th and 5th grade teachers
Figure that
chew
out.
on it.
They're
yeah.
gonna do Mary Joseph and the angel number 1's not gonna be 6, 7, 8?
No. That's gonna be 3rd, 4th, or 5th.
And then what about angel number
Angel and
3?
Mary.
That's listed as a 1st grader.
Who?
Angel 3 is a 1st grader, or are we moving that one
Where's
up?
angel 3?
Well,
Where do they
I
come
have
in?
one,
Second column under Angel 2.
how much is the lines?
I don't know where the lines are.
Oh,
Where, I can't really see. Oh, here we go. Is it just the one line here?
Probably.
I have a girl who can do it.
Where?
Get up, take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for it. and kill him.
yeah, that's Angel 3.
That's also gonna be pretty rough.
Yeah, and I don't think we're kill him.
Angel 3, did you say?
It's
Angel
supposed to be a
1,
first
those should
grader,
all
but-
be 3rd and 4th and 5th graders, I think.
So should we,
All
let's
the
move
angels.
the angel number 3 to,
Except for the group of angels.
So what do we have for 2nd graders then?
the shepherds? Are we still leaving?
Yeah, the
shepherds?
group- Yeah, the shepherds are going, I don't,
The shepherds have
the
to
shepherds have a
speak.
lot.
Well, so second and third grade
Second
have the
graders
same
have-
teachers, so we could just.
I think second and
tell the
third grade
teachers
can, if we're
they
talking
can figure
third
out.
grade, we can talk second grade
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Because that's the same class.
So I'll
Yeah,
mix the
so
second and
the
third
teacher
graders
can pick.
together.
Let's do second and third grades for the wise men. Can we do
Yeah,
that?
because those days, those
Those
are
are
one-liners,
shorter.
yeah.
okay.
So the wise men are second
So
and
wise
third.
guys, the wise guys are second and third grade.
So Angel 3 is gonna go to the second and third grade.
Yeah,
Angel 3,
it's supposed to be a younger one.
where's he going?
And
That's
It's
when,
just the one line
tell
at the
them
end.
to go to Egypt.
The line I just read, that go to Egypt until King Herod searched the child.
That's gonna be,
Page
Second and
7,
fourth or fifth?
I thought you said something.
though we said second or third.
Yeah. I think it was Angel 1 that we talked about, fourth or fifth, because
Yeah.
Angel 1 has
Oh,
more.
Angel 1 is fourth or fifth?
Yeah, Angel 1 has 2 like chunks instead of,
Yeah, Angel 1 and Angel 2 can be fourth and fifth, and
Oh,
then
Angel 2.
Angel 3 can be second, third.
Okay.
Who's calling you?
And
so then, Amber and Kara, the second and third grade class, are gonna assign the 3 shepherds, the 4 wise men, and angel number 2 and angel number 3?
No, just Angel number 3, I thought.
Okay, so not
Angel
angel
number
2.
3,
Okay. so
wise
not
men,
two.
Angel 1 and 2 are going to be
Okay.
fourth and fifth.
fourth and fifth.
Okay, so then second and third are shepherd 1,
Oh, and
2,
then the daughter,
3.
what about the daughter? She's gonna be
Daughter's
older?
first or second grader. So it could be your class or it could be the other class. Do you
I
have?
have one girl who I think could do a good job, if she had like maybe one line or 2 lines at the most.
She says, "I'm ready for bed now. Would you tell me a story?" She's gonna start the play.
Okay.
And then she'll have to, I think she's supposed to act afraid and things like that. Yeah, it's mostly sitting there. And then,
Hey, let me call you right back, okay? Okay, bye.
Yeah.
yeah, the only other thing she says is, "Mother, did the king hurt the baby?"
Okay.
Okay, so I, yeah,
Is there
we
someone?
made
who
that a
knows?
first grader.
Okay.
So if you could email me the parts so I make sure that I've got my notes right.
So Mary and Joseph and fourth and fifth?
Yeah, so fourth and fifth are Mary, Joseph.
And Lorna, if you could email me your notes on
And then innkeeper 6, 7,
the
8.
parts.
Yeah, so in
So-
Okay, when I start
Mother,
going dad, mother,
parent,
dad, and.
Mother,
Yeah.
father.
No, just
And
the
priests and
assignment.
teachers.
And the pre.
Okay,
So, I mean, just take a picture and
Mary
text me
Joseph
or
is 4
something.
and
Okay.
5.
So I
Shepherds are
can
4
make
and
sure I
5.
got the right notes.
Angel 1 and 2
Who
is
I
4 and
assigned.
Are
5.
shepherds
is what I
fourth?
said.
No, I don't care about
I have
that. I
shepherds
care
as
about
the-
what the
Yes.
grades
Or
levels
shepherds.
No,
are.
shepherds are 4 and 5.
So you can
Shepherds are
have
hard.
a proper
Yeah,
list
it's
for
a hard
Sunday.
part.
okay, sounds good.
And then I have
Okay.
angel number 3 and the wise men are second and third.
So the last thing I want to do is spend
Okay.
time on it and then
And
it's
the
like,
daughter will be a first.
oh,
and third.
this is what we decided, not that. So if I can have a picture of your page, I can put them together and we can be out of the chute.
So mother and father, upper grade, right?
Is 6, 7,
Yes,
8.
mom and dad.
Daughter, first grade.
Mhm.
Mary, fourth, fifth grader. Joseph, fourth, fifth grader. Innkeeper, upper grade,
6, 7,
right? Or
8.
the
Yeah.
6th, 7th, 8th. Lambs are the 3 and 4-year-olds.
Mhm.
Group of shepherds are all the
Kindergarten
kindergartners.
is first.
Shepherd 1, 2, and 3 are fourth and fifth graders?
Yeah.
Okay. King Herod is a junior high kid.
6, 7, 8.
Okay. Angels are the 4-year-olds who aren't lambs.
Yeah.
So Cindy will have to figure out that division. Angel 1 and 2 are fourth, fifth graders. Angel 3 is a third grader.
Second to third.
Second.
Okay, second or third. Wise man 1, 2, 3, and 4 are third, second graders,
Yeah.
right?
Second and third.
And then,
Second or third?
Yeah.
Okay.
and then the priests and teachers, there's 1
6, 7,
junior
8.
higher, and then are we gonna still have the first graders with? that?
Yeah, we'll just have them.
Okay. 'Cause then they
Okay, so
have
then
a
my kids are
spot.
gonna be like the, match each one with a priest and teacher, so they'll be the 6, 7, 8, and then a first grader with each one of them.
Are we doing 1 junior high kid as, with the group of the first graders, or is it?
I don't
Do the
know.
first graders do anything else?
I have,
Kindergarten and first graders?
kindergarten and first are the group of shepherds.
Okay. Oh, kindergarten and first? The group of shepherds is first and kindergartners?
Yeah,
Good.
it's the same
Perfect.
class.
Okay. And then, yeah, the priests and teachers, I'm wondering,
We could also have that be overflow for like, if there's second and third kids that don't, or
Don't
fourth
have
and
a part.
fifth that don't have parts, they can
let's
just join
just,
that group.
let's, yeah. Let's say et cetera there.
Okay,
I don't know
so
if first
everyone
graders
else.
are the best idea
Yeah,
for
first
that.
graders is
Yeah.
the worst idea for that.
Yeah, okay, so let's do overflow, 6
Yeah.
to 8 and overflow
For 2 through 5.
2 through 8.
Oh, yeah,
The
right.
overflows, the 2 through 5, and 6, 7, 8 is like the chosen ones.
Yes, but I might have some extra ones too, because I only
Oh,
have
yeah.
1, 2, 3.
We have Mother, father, innkeeper, Herod, and then at least a priest and teacher, so 4, 5 that are specific.
And then one of the speaking priest, and then what about the king?
I think I have
6,
the king
7,
as a 6, 7, 8, yeah.
Okay, is the king on here? Yes.
Yeah,
I got
down
it.
the bottom right.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's probably all I'll have. You know, there's gonna be some kids who won't be here.
Mother,
Yeah.
innkeeper, Herod, and priest and teachers.
And then so since the roles are gonna get assigned this Sunday, do you think it'd be helpful for me to go around like 20 minutes into the class to see if you have, like if someone says like, I don't have enough kids,
Everybody's
Yeah.
assigned.
yeah.
That's a
and
good
then I
idea,
can
yeah.
maybe
Well, we can
distribute
always
it.
assign kids, and then when it comes to practice time,
Okay,
if that kid never shows up, then you give it to
Okay.
somebody else. That's the way it usually is. Okay, so we've got it, right?
Yeah, oh gosh,
And then
my
I'm
girl will
gonna
show up
split
though,
up the
because I don't
mother-
have an understudy for her.
Mother and father parts.
who is it?
Abigail?
Oh, she's normally here, isn't she?
Yeah, she's always
She
here.
was coming last year
Yeah.
too, so
He's got a strong neck.
she's pretty good, yeah. It's that fun like throwing its head back thing.
So, all righty. Let's, I'm going to turn this off. Thank you.
We've been recording that whole
Mhm.
That's kind of a
exchange.